Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and right, it's going to be a slightly longer introduction than normal today, so feel free to just jump ahead, because it will include a rant from me. But first of all, I am going to very proudly state that tomorrow at 4 p.m. our time, we will be releasing the Nightmare Sudoku pack on Patreon. Do join us on Patreon. It's a brilliant pack by the Skunkworks collective, using the nightmare constraint that was created by Wisteria 4 and Riff Clown. That involves you not being allowed to have cells and knights move apart at up to 5 or 15. It's an absolutely wicked set of puzzles based on those. I think there are 19 puzzles in total if you can get through the whole pack, and you'll need to do that to get a shout out on the channel. But you'll only need to get through the first 5 to be in with a chance of the prize. And some of the greats of Sudoku construction are featured, and the names of those involved are Wisteria Fall, Brempster, Frappi, Mavericks JD, Doran T, Doomed Yacht, Randall, DJV, Chili, Roundplaner, Mixo, Sotek, Jeremy Dover, Rockrat Zero, and of course Riff Clown himself. Some absolutely fantastic puzzles. I have no shame in saying this will be one of the experiences of the year, and you will enjoy it a lot if you give it a go. So that is coming out tomorrow. Of course, if you can't wait till then, there's all our apps, other content on Patreon. Check out the links. The Gas 2 app is proving very popular, so that's the latest. Now, I told you a couple of days ago that I would be on BBC Business this morning at 5 a.m. our time, or 5:30 our time. And they bumped me last night and said, we don't need you after all. This happens an awful lot on TV and radio appearances. If you get in a position where you get invited by researchers to be on a TV or a radio news program, then I strongly advise you to expect that they will not follow through well over half the time. It is incredibly annoying. Now, I know they did do an article with Will Shortz on the American Puzzle Tournament at that time instead of me, and that I can't really argue with the fact that Will is probably a better guest. That's great. And at least they did something on puzzles. But why didn't they tell me when they lined me up that if we can get Will Shortz, you won't be on? I find it very irritating, and there we go. That's my rant for today. It's certainly not the first time I've been bumped on TV or radio. I do apologise if any of you got up early or at an unusual hour and tuned into BBC World, but at least you got Will Shortz instead of me, so that is something. Rant over, and we move on. And today's puzzle is called Snuggie by Chef of Death. I think we have featured Chef of Death before on the channel. It's possibly one of the most unappetizing names for a chef ever, and I don't fancy trying their food. But the puzzle name itself is, of course, well, I say of course, but I had to actually read the email to find out that a Snuggie is one of those sort of blankets with sleeves that you can wear to keep warm and be a couch potato in. So I've not had one of those ever, but the puzzle clearly either reminds Chef of Death of this garment covering blanket. I don't know what to call it. And I haven't got one, so I'm not really very experienced in that. But I don't know if it's meant to look like it or if it's just a nice warm thought in what has been a vicious March. This country, I think, I saw a statistic that it's been the least sunny March on record, which is entirely plausible. It was raining again all day yesterday and the day before here in the UK, and miserable. Let's stop waffling. You don't want to hear me going on about my life. Although I will actually mention that tomorrow I'll be driving up to Derby to take part in the UK Sudoku Championship. I was planning to carry on into the UK Puzzle Championship on the basis that if you're going 150 miles, you might as well do the whole weekend. But then there's nobody to get my son to his football on Sunday, so I may blow off the Puzzle Championship in the end and just have a go at the Sudoku one. We shall see. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to have a look at this puzzle and its rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we're going to be putting 1 to 9 in every row, column and 3 by 3 box. Digits along a green line must have a difference of at least, so neighbouring digits along a green line must have a difference of at least 5. So for instance, in these two cells, you could put 1 and 9, the difference is plenty big enough. You could put 1 and 6, the difference is just big enough, but you could not put 3 and 7 because the difference would not be big enough. Digits along a purple line must form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. The purple lines are all only 2 or 3 cells long, so it's not a very big set, but that could be 1 and 2, or 4 and 5, or 7 and 8, say, on these two cells. And digits separated by a V, those two digits, or those two, must sum to 5. Not all V's are necessarily given. Those are the rules. It is very interesting how often Renban and German whisper lines work together to form a really interesting puzzle. So I have hopes here. Although actually, Chef of Death said he's always aiming for 2 out of 5 puzzles, so it should be just a bit of fun. Well, you know, I'm hoping so, but we'll see. Let's get cracking. Let's see how we go. So, okay, I will run through the things we know about German whisper lines, which tend to be more helpful at first than the Renban lines. And the things we know are that 5 cannot go on a German whisper line, that therefore the digits alternate between digits higher than 5 and digits lower than 5 to maintain this difference of 5 between them. And finally, that after 5, 4 and 6 are the hardest digits to place because their neighbours can't see each other. So for instance, this cell on the green line could not be 4 because both of its neighbours would have to be 9 and they would see each other and thus break Sudoku rules. So those are the basics. Okay, the best thing often to do, and I almost forgot to do this, is to colour the lines. So if we're alternating between high and low along a line, then let's make... I'm going to use green and purple just because they're my familiar go-to unknown colours. I want to turn these colours blue and orange, blue for low and orange for high digits in the end. But at the moment, I don't know which are going to be low and which are going to be high. So I'm using green and purple to represent either green being low and purple being high, or purple being low and green being high. And there's there's a lot of symmetry in this puzzle, mirror symmetry. This line is exactly the same shape as the one over here. Yes, okay, so I was looking at these greens and going, can these 4 all be greens? Let's just try and show you what I'm looking at by using different unknown colours over here, yellow and red. So again, we're going to divide into high or low. We don't know which of yellow and red is high or low, but I was looking at these and going, if those were all low, could those all be low? And I think they actually could. That's not the problem. The problem comes in row 8, where we can see that there's 3 purples and 3 reds. So the red can't be the same as purple. So in my staging post on the way to getting from red and yellow to blue and orange, I'm going to have to go through green and purple. So red becomes green because of row 8. And there. Yellow becomes purple. And now this is less helpful actually than I hoped. Because I've got 2 greens and 2 purples in that row, 3 purples and 3 greens in this row, 2 and 2 in the bottom row, 1 and 1 here. I'm not really learning anything. Okay, something I can do actually with the V cells is make them blue, which is low, because the digits on a V have to be 1, 2, 3 or 4, the low digits for the purposes of this puzzle. And that might help maybe later. This one, I think, this domino might help particularly in row 7, maybe in box 8, to tell us which is high and which is low. Now 5 in these corner boxes is not on a green line. 5 can never be on a green line because its neighbours could never have a difference of 5. They'd be 0 or 10 or worse. So 5 in each case is on these Renban lines. And the lowest digit they can have on them is a 3 and the highest is a 7. They're quite... Oh, I was going to say they're quite likely to be 4, 5, 6 lines, but actually no, they're not 4, 5, 6 lines. One of them is 3, 4, 5 and one of them is 5, 6, 7. How do I know that? Because in this box I've used up all the 4 greens. There are only going to be 4 greens, 4 purples and a 5 in each row, column and box. And I've used up the 4 greens in this box. So this Renban line is going to have 2 purples and a 5 on it. And this one is going to have 2 greens and a 5 on it. That's weird. How do we use... Which one of these in row 8 is a 5? Because it could be here. Ah, where's 5 in row 6? It's in one of those 2 cells. It can never be on a green line. We said that at the start, and it's clearly not on a V. I don't know, that may not help at all, but... Now, I haven't really done any thinking about where 4s and 6s can go. I did say that's the kind of third thing about these German whisper lines. And maybe we're going to have to think about that. But these ends of the lines, they can definitely be these interior digits, 4 and 6. That can be as well, because its neighbours don't see each other. That could be a 4, because both of those could be a 9. So I think all of these cells could be 4 or 6. Yeah. I was tempted to write a 4-6 pair in there, but that's no good because only one of... Yeah, I don't know. That might have worked given this pattern if I had to put both 4 and 6 into each row, but I don't because I know that there'll be 1 4 and 1 6 on these lines. I don't know, I'm getting confused now. I'm not really making much progress. Now, is it this green line? Oh, hang on. What's up with this? That is going to be... Well, it's going to be a very non-internal digit because it's got 3... Those... Okay, I'm going to use red and yellow on this side of the grid again. So... I don't know which of purple and green are yellow and red, but this is how this German whisper line splits up. Can I relate it to this one? Note that there is a symmetry break here. This bit of that line is purple and that bit's green, so they're not quite the same. This is quite an extreme digit because it has 3 neighbours. It can only be 1, 2, 8 or 9. What am I meant to do to find out how to get going here? I don't think this is easy, Chef of Death, by the way. I mean, I might be missing something significant, but... Now... I don't know. Sorry, I'm finding this very hard to get any traction with. I've got something. I've got something here. Yes. This might only lead to a very small thing, but I'm going to rule 5 out of that cell, I think. The way I'm doing that is by noting I haven't coloured these because I don't know whether they're purple or 5, which I'm planning to leave white in the grid. Although that's not always the best way of doing it, but I'm planning that at the moment. Now, if they were both purple, we've got a problem, because one of this red or yellow is purple as well. That's purple and green disguised as red and yellow. So, if all of these were purple, we would then have a fifth purple in the column, which is not allowed. So one of those is not purple. One of them is a 5, therefore, and this is purple. I don't know whether it's low or high yet, but it is purple. Now we've got all 4 purples in this row. Oh, and no. No, don't know. Is that going to be green? It's the same thing doesn't work because that's not a pair on this side. So I can't form the same conclusion. Oh, hang on though. Right, let's go further up column 2. Oh, this is freaky. Let's go further up column 2 because what's going on down here? Now we know. I can't quite colour it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give these a purple and white. So one of those is purple and one of them is white, being 5. Yeah, white 5er. Now, that is 3 purples and a white. That is a purple and a blue. Purple and a green, sorry. So when we've got up that far, we've used 4 purples, a white and a green. And these 3 have to be 3 greens to make that work. Now, this could be a white 5, but it can't be purple. What's going on in column 3? 1, 2 green. Oh. Yes. No. No, I don't know. How can you count the colours in column 3? What are these going to be? I don't know. Oh, it's all... No, it depends what this is. I don't know if that's all green or all purple. I want to know. That's interesting though. We've got 3 greens used up there. So maximum 1 green up here. If blue was green, then it's these. My head has come out with nested if statements about if blue was green and if red was green. That's one of each. That's what I'm desperately clinging to. That seems to matter a lot. Now, if red is purple, we've used up all 4 purples here. But if green is purple... Sorry, if red is green, green can't be purple. If red is green, then we've used up 3 greens in that row. I can colour this. Yeah, these... Sorry, I hadn't realised this. This inverted V, these 2 can't be red. Because in this row, we've already got 1 green and 1 purple. So I can colour this for red and yellowness. This is weird. But those 2 can't be red, because then there'd be 4 reds, and either purple or green is red, let alone whether blue is red. So that would be 5 reds. So these 2 are yellow, and that's red. Now, I doubt that that's helping me at all, to be honest. Oh, what's this? I don't know. It all depends on whether... Now, it has row 6 and this V, this domino V that I was expecting. Has that told me anything? There's 2 reds and 2 yellows, 1 purple and 1 green. Right, that's 3 of each. Whichever way they work, that is 3 of each colour. So these are blue, orange and a 5. This pair is orange and a 5. I could colour them like that. That's so weird. Oh, I tell you what that means. This can't be a 5. Because it's either on a Renban line with that, or it's sitting under a 5. So this has a colour, but I don't know what its colour is. And I don't even know whether to think of it in terms of blue-orange, green-purple, or red-yellow, which is not what I'm going to think of it as. Now this is either red or a 5. That just does nothing. Wow, I'm really stuck on this. This is confusing me. It's confusing the absolute heck out of me, actually. I'm going to think about columns 2 and 3 again, because I thought they were telling me something earlier, or trying to. There's a 5 somewhere up here in those 4 cells. So if red was green, and yellow was purple, if red was green and yellow was purple, then you've already got 3 greens here. Maximum of 1 and maybe no minimum there. That is either green or a 5 at the top. No, I cannot see what to do there yet. Now, one of these is 3, 4, 5, and one of them is 5, 6, 7. So there's at least, yeah, I should do this again over here. There's at least 1 green here. And maybe 2. So if that's a 5, these are both green, then we've used up green, then red would become purple. Yellow would become green. No, I don't see how that sorts me out. It's probably 4s and 6s and where they can go. I just didn't think they were as restricted as I need in this puzzle. I mean, I can see no, I don't know that this well, one of these purples could easily be 4 or 6. In fact, one of them, actually, neither of those are 4 or 6. Okay, here's how I know that. In this row, that purple can't be the 4 or 6 interior digit, because it has neighbours that see each other. So one of these is 4 or 6. Therefore, neither of these is 4 or 6. Which is a very weird deduction. Therefore, on this line, this is the 4 or 6. It has to have a 4 or a 6, because it's either 3, 4, 5 or 5, 6, 7. And this, I was going to say that can't be right, because it makes that the purple 4 or 6. But it doesn't. It doesn't. Where can the, oh, this is it. Where can the purple 4 or 6 go in this column? It can't go there because its neighbours see each other. It can't go in this box because it's already in it. It can't be here because that has to be a fairly extreme digit. The only cell that can be purple 4 or 6 is this. So red becomes purple this time. Wow. I mean, if you're telling me, Chef of Death, that this is straightforward, and that everybody can see that, I'm taking my hat off to everybody. Right, that is the 4 or 6 in the column. And now we've got that these are purple, that's green. It still doesn't tell us, doesn't get us green and purple being, oh look, we've got all 4 purples here. It doesn't tell us which of purple and green is blue or orange. Sorry, I'm getting in a confused state where I'm sure I don't articulate and complete all my thoughts, and that's not helping you understand what I'm seeing, although you may be a few steps ahead of me, in which case, well done. Now, does this stuff work over here? That can't be. No, it doesn't, because we don't know about the 5 in that one. We only knew over here. So this is where we had to start. Right. Right, let's do the column 2 and 3 thing again now, because we've got a bit more information. We've got a bit more information. Right. What are these two? And what's that? This is a really good question. And I'm going to tell you that none of those 3 are purple. Because for these 2, we've used all the purple in the box. For that one, you can't stretch from green to purple in a 2-cell Renban, because you'd need to go through white 5. So none of those 3 are purple. So where are the other 2 purples in the row? And it's this domino that tells us, not this one after all. It's this domino that tells us what purple and blue are, because these 2 cells have to be purple. Because we've decided that those can't be. This is genius, by the way. This is a brilliant construction. So the whole point of this is purple is blue. Those 2 are blue. And I'm going to colour all the purple blue now and all the green orange. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I was just worried about, have I already used orange? But I've used orange for the right reason. So orange is high. This digit is 8 or 9. Maybe I'll get a digit in this grid after 20 bloomin' minutes. Now, that is, yeah, I mean, one of these 3 is a 5, and it could be there or it could be here. That's quite annoying. I don't, again, I don't know. In this group, I've got 2 orange, 2 blue, and a 5. And all I know is that a maximum of 1 orange in those 3. This hasn't really got me much. Well, no, it's got me a lot further in knowing which are the highs and which are the lows. I'm pleased with that. Yes, I now know, of course, that this is the low Renban, 3, 4, 5. So I've got a digit. There's a 4. These are a 3, 5 pair. That is a 4. Yes, that is a 4. This is a 9. Actually, it was once that was 4 or 6. This was always going to be extreme. Okay. Okay. 9, no. 4, no. Come on. That is 1, 2, or 3, and its V partner is 2, 3, or 4. 4s are very helpful on whispers and less helpful on Renbans, and it's kind of the opposite for 1/9s, which are less helpful on whispers and very helpful on Renbans. Now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. These are, this is the orange Renban. This is the 5, 6, 7 Renban. So we can take 3 and 4 out of those cells. Oh, and we can... Right, neither of these is a 6, because their neighbours see each other. So the 6 in this box is in one of those 2. So that's not a 6. Ah, and the 6 is in one of those 2, and they both see that cell. That is a 1. It's the only thing it can be. Now, this could be a 6, and that be a 1 as well. In fact, no, it can't, because where does 1 go in this box now? It goes here. Now, that is not a 1. This is a 2, 3 pair. That can't be a 6, and we've placed 6. Suddenly, some digits are beginning to gradually flow. These are obviously a 7, 8, 9 triple. That's a 2. Ah, we've got a 3, 5 pair, so we know that's a 2. That's a 3. The 3 can't touch a 7, one of the most important impossibilities on a whisper line. So that's where 7 is, quite fairly touching 1 and 2. This can't be a 7 now. I'm not really so interested in ruling out 7 and 6. I want to find out where 5 is here, because it's going to tell me about this a bit. Ah, now... Did I work out that that was a colour? Yes, I did, because it can't be a 5. Actually, I could have told this earlier. I could have told this when I had that marked as orange and white, that this was orange. That's weird. It can't be blue. Oh, yes, it can. Sorry. Okay, I'm wrong. I thought I'd established this was orange. But it could be a 4. And that would be a 5. That would have to be a 5. Oh, bother. Okay. These are high digits. These, okay, let's do the 6 thing with 4s over here. These two can't be 4s because their neighbours see each other. So 4 is up in one of these cells. That is a 9 because it must touch a 4. That 9 appears in this box here on the end of the line. Nowhere else it can be. And now this isn't 9, so that can't be 4, and that's 4. Oh, there is a lot of symmetry here that I'm just not taking advantage of. So what else? This can't be 4 now. That's exactly what I wanted to find out, isn't it? Yeah, this can't be blue anymore. And it's not 5 because of where 5 appears here, so it's orange. Oh, and that still hasn't quite told me anything. That's very frustrating. What about these numbers? 1, 2, and 3 in those. 8. This has to be 8. Look, it's kind of the last digit left to place in the box. So this is 6 or 7. That cannot be 6 because its neighbours see each other. It's 7. The neighbours have to be 1 and 2. We get to place 3 with its legal 8, 9 neighbours. And we've kind of achieved the symmetry, although not quite with 5s. But now we've got a 5, 6 pair. That's 7. Oh, and the symmetry's broken. No, we can restore the symmetry. 3 is looking at that cell. 5 and 3, I can colour those. I like this puzzle. It's very interesting. That 5, yes, that's looking across here at 6. That's a 5. This is the last cell in the row now. That's a 6. Let's do a little bit of colouring. I might keep colouring this grid. We've got so far colouring it. Although I don't think the colouring is going to be as necessary from now on, but it may nonetheless benefit us. This, in fact, in this row, there's only one white cell, so that's a 5. Oh, this Renban can't be 5, 6, 7, so it must be 5, 6, 4. That just feels like it's not ordinary Sudoku because it's Renban Sudoku, but it feels like one of the more ordinary deductions we've been allowed to make in this puzzle. That is 1 or 2. That is 8 or 9, which is a big number. This is obviously not 5. We found where 5 is. It's here. This is orange and is connected to 8 or 9. So it's 7 or 8. Can't be 9. 5, 6, 4, 3, 7. Don't know about these. It's a 1, 2 and an 8, 9. This is a 2, 3 pair. That must be a 4 in the row. That's sitting on a V with a 1. We get a 2 there and a 1 here. Still haven't done the 8, 9 pair. Up here, we've got 6, 7, 8. Right, on the Renban, look, this can't be orange because it sees a 9 down here in one of those cells and it sees 6, 7, 8 in its box. It can't be blue, so it's white. So these are now both orange. This is a 6, that's obvious. 3 is looking up at that cell. Now, what about up here? This can't be 5 because that can't be 4 because its neighbours see each other and they can't be 9. So that's blue. And now these 3 include 2 blue and a 5. Let's think about the numbers. Actually, I'm going to sort of colour that. That one can't be the 5 because there's a 5 there, so that's definitely blue. Now, what are these numbers? That one is not, well, I don't know. This one is also not 4. In fact, 4 in the box goes here by Sudoku. I do like a bit of ordinary Sudoku every now and then. These must have a 6 on, mustn't they, in this row? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. That's very clear. So this is a 1, and that's a 2, and now I know that this is a 3, 4, 5 triple. And I can use the same sort of technique here as here. Once that's 3, 4, 5, this has to be just outside that run of digits. So this is 2 or 6, and it can't be 2. That's a 6. This is 5, that's the white cell. This is blue, and not 5. 6 goes orange, because we're trying to keep the colouring going. That's not 6 now, that is. This one is 7 or 8. I am noticing that one of those is an 8, but I don't know what to do with that intriguing fact. I'm being slightly sarcastic there. I can place 3 in this box. This 6 is touching a 5 or a 7. Don't know which. Look at this digit. It sees 2, 3 and 4. Oh, I was going to say it can't be blue, but it could be a 1, because that could be 2 and 3. Bother. Okay, let's do something else. 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a 9 and either 7 or 8 in those cells. They're orange. Maybe I should do just some colouring. It might actually yield something. No, I'll tell you what. Look, 6, 6. And that can't be 6. So 6 is in one of those 2 cells in row 3. Now we know a bit. Oh, look, this can't be 4, 5 or 6. If there's a 5 on this Renban, in fact, is there a 5? Yes, 5 is just, there's 4 5s looking into the box. Anytime you have 4 of a digit looking into a box, you know exactly where it goes, and it goes there. And that's a 6, which is orange. Now, that can't be 4, so to complete this Renban, it's a 7. That's getting stuff done as well. 8, 7, 9, 8, 9. Look at all this. These are a 2 and an 8, and I still don't know which is which. There's a 1 in this central box, that's there. That is 6 or 9, I can at least colour it. In fact, no, I was going to say I can colour those 2, but one of them's a 5. Hang on, that's a 7. That's sorted out the numbers here. Now I can do the colouring in the central row. In fact, that's a 5. Rather than colour it, I get to put the number in. That is a 6, because it sees 9 at the bottom of the grid. That's a 9. I think we're sort of finishing off now. 2, 3, 6. This is 7 and 8. 8 gets a colour. Not that colour, that colour. Right, up here. That can't be 6. 7, 8, 5, 6, 4. These are from 1, 2, 3, 9. That's going to mean 2 is definitely on this Renban, and that becomes a 3. Now the Renban is a 1, 2 pair. 9 goes here. That was probably the easier thing to see. That's the 4th orange in its row. So these 2 are blue. That's the sort of colouring I like to do. 1 of each in those. This, yeah, I can finish off these numbers. Then I can colour this box. And in fact, not with that colour. Let's try that colour. In fact, that 2 has sorted out 8 and 2 at the bottom of the grid, which I can also colour. And now I can finish the colouring in column 4 with an orange. Those 2 have gone blue. I'm going to use 1 of each there, 1 of each there, and 1 of each here. Oh, okay. Well, let's keep thinking. That's a 7. Oh, look, the number below it is a 4. That's on the V. We get a 1, 2, 1, 3 and 8 are the pair here. 8 and 9 have been resolved there. That resolves 7 and 8, which I could have resolved from that 7. That 8 does 3 and 8. All of the digit pairs we've got have got resolved apart from this one. But now we can do that through column 3. And we are definitely finishing off now. 349 up here. 439. Right, those go blue. If I could count colours better in my head, I would know about these two. That's blue, that's orange, that's all the colouring. This orange digit is the last one to fill in. 7, 1 and a 2. And we did get a 3 in the corner that I didn't notice, losing its religion. And we are keeping our religion in our snuggie on our sofa. Thank you, Chef of Death. That was very interesting. I mean, you could call that 2 out of 5 difficulty, but I think it was quite difficult to get those unknown colours at the beginning. Let's get rid of the colouring now, just to see the original grid. There we go. And very good puzzle. Both of the V's turned out to be 1-4 pairs. 5s weren't in those two positions. One of them was in the middle. Fascinating. Really good puzzle. Thanks everyone for watching us, for making the kind comments you do, for supporting the channel. We are incredibly grateful, and for watching us at all. Do subscribe or like the video or something like that. Give us a little vote of confidence. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.